So, Cobra Kai finally ended. It finally is over. It's a good thing, but yet a sad thing at the same time. Because this was the first thing that I liked from Netflix, you know, besides Stranger Things. But this is the main thing I liked for many, many reasons and everything like that. And the way it was handled and respected was way better than Stranger Things. But I remember the days where Netflix first came out. Before it, well, a little after, it was just a thing where you can just rent the movies and the games, or what the games too, I can't remember. But it was taking Blockbuster and Video Hut out of business for how it was doing its thing. Like, why go to Blockbuster to get the movies where you can rent the movies? They'll come to you. Then they start making the streaming service. They were working their way up. So one of the first two main original series that people really recognized was Stranger Things and Cobra Kai. Stranger Things was a thing where they had the theme of the 80s era, and it was showing it to a modern audience and stuff like that, showing the supernatural and the scientific, while Cobra Kai took from its past and went forward to the future, seeing our characters of who are they and where are they now, kind of thing. And it starts off with the two main characters, Danny Russo and Johnny. As you know, these two were rivals in the very first movie, where Johnny was kind of a bully, head of the Cobra Kai dojo, and he had a bright future ahead of him, besides being a bonehead, where Danny Russo just wanted to be left alone and be himself. But as time went on, he learned from Master Miyagi, and he beat Johnny. But at the end of the fight, Johnny still respected Russo by saying, you're all right, Russo. And that was it. That should have been the end of it. But of course, there were more Cobra Kai movies. But for Johnny, that was when everything fell apart. Afterwards, he was being bullied by his own sensei, Kreese, and did him dirty. Ever since then, his own hero, someone he looked up to, betrayed him, and he thought he was going to be a loser for the rest of his life. And that's pretty much what it is. You will be surprised how one act you do to someone can change their worldview of how they see things, how they see you, how they see how they should live their lives. And it can really destroy their confidence, their self-esteem, destroy their dreams, all that stuff. And that's what happened to Johnny. Johnny was with someone, had a kid, but ruined that, had some jobs, ruined that, and he was just a guy who was trying to make ends meet, living a miserable life. Till one day he saw his old rival, Danny, having his own car company, having quirky, cringy ads, and just moving up in life, a nice slice of pie of the neighborhood and everything. Having two children, having a wife, having all that good stuff, where Johnny was in his apartment where he didn't like himself and other stuff like that, until he realized he needs to make some money. So what he decided to do is bring Cobra Kai back. He brought back Cobra Kai. He did just make ends meet, and also to help someone out that was next door. There was a Hispanic family there, and the son was getting bullied at school named Miguel. Miguel couldn't stand it, and so John was like, "Hey, let me teach you how to do karate to defend yourself, stuff like that. Also, get some confidence in yourself as well." So that's how it started. Ever since then, more and more kids started going into it. Um, Danny tried his hardest to stop Cobra Kai because he saw it as a terrible thing, because it was a terrible thing back then. But in a way, now it's just um, Johnny just trying to make ends meet. And also, despite how it used to be a bully kind of dojo back in the day, now it could have been something different. It was in different hands. And instead of just inviting the bullies and tough guys, he was inviting anyone who wanted to challenge himself, anyone who wanted to change. Like, one of my favorite characters is a guy named Hawk. Well, it's not his original name, but he was just one of Miguel's friends who was bullied because his facial features, and people make fun of him at school. So he told him a very interesting lesson. Flip the script. Flip the script is make it own this stuff. Make it work for yourself. Do something about yourself to change your outside appearance as you work on your confidence from the inside. That's what he did. But of course, given that kind of power without learning the process of responsibility can cause you to become the exact same thing you hated. That's exactly what happened to Hawk. Despite him having a cool mohawk and stuff and being more aggressive and everything, when he lost the mohawk, he realized he didn't truly change on the inside, but he just let his outside toughness get the better of him. And you see other things as well. And the thing I like about this is that this was a continuation of all the continuations that have happened. Some were okay, a lot of them were very bad. This one was great. It was heavily respected the source material. In fact, paying homage and also references to the source material. You'll see characters from past movies and incidents that the characters will talk about, and it seems how they carried it on with their lives, seeing how they saw that incident and said, yeah, it's because of that incident I feel this certain type of way. I do these kind of things, or I can't trust someone, or I give someone a chance. It happens. And some of the people who were bad weren't always bad. And some people who were good sometimes can become bad. Life changes people for the better and for the worse. Things happen. And one of the main things I learned from the show altogether was to give people second chances, as well you yourself having a second chance. You may see yourself as a loser or as a top guy, but you'll never know what could be happening. For instance, Danny LaRusso was a nice guy and he created Miyagi-Do, but it only kind of made things worse, causing a rivalry between the two dojos as they start causing very dangerous fights. Not to mention his own son as well start becoming a bully as well as the seasons go on. On the other hand, Johnny invited some old people back into his dojo, which he believed they deserve a second chance despite everything that happens to him. But he believed they deserve a second chance. But just because people get a second chance doesn't mean they'll do right by it sometimes. It happens. You know, some people come with alternative motives or devious plots and they'll come to ruin you to get what they want. And unfortunately, that's what happens in life. You can give people second chances, but it's entirely up to them what they do with those second chances. Now, this has 6 seasons, so as time goes on, it does. Some seasons do drag on a bit, a lot of twists and turns, a lot of things that felt very forced, like, hey, they must need to have a reason to fight. Some characters have to hate each other for the sake of hating each other. And it was ridiculous, but that's how it was back in the day, man. You gotta have some kung fu fighting in your show, or else no one's be interested. But I was interested in the development of the characters as they change and as they move along. Danny also found out some things he was trying to figure out by Miyagi. Miyagi wasn't so open about his life as he was entirely, but you learn that he did things that he needed to do in order to survive, or he was right at the end of the day. Also, to see your senseis and your mentors aren't just these idols. They are human beings just like you and me. They'll do bad things and they'll do good things because they are just like you. They just had more experience and you were younger at the time and you looked up to them. And sometimes you can see them as a hero, or sometimes you can see as someone who has betrayed you at the end of the day. But you have to remember that they're just human. And so, another thing I've learned from the series, you can always have your heroes in this high pinnacle of expectation if they must meet these standards. It's impossible because they themselves had their own experiences through life, which made them who they are today and stuff. Now, editing was good and some things felt like it was stretched out, the drama, the romances, some of it was just ridiculous. But for some reason, the last 5 episodes of the last season, for some reason, the last 5 episodes were perfect. They were perfect. None of the drama, none of the rivalries, none of that. In a day, people were just front up about what they were doing and why they were doing it. You know, some did because even though they had all the riches in the world, the yachts, the houses, and everything, but that's all they had. They had material items, but they didn't have any friends. They didn't have any family. They didn't have anyone they could trust. Everyone around them they bought through money, and that was it. Or one who had so much hatred in his heart, he only saw his path as one path, but realized that he'd done wrong. He was too clouded by his own vision to realize, hey, he did wrong. He should have done better. There was just one way of doing things. There were multiple ways, and even if there was that one way, you could have eased up. You could have done better by people who looked up to you, and you betrayed them at the end of the day, or you done wrong by them. And there's others as well. Many lessons. Like just because you lose the first time doesn't mean you should quit and stuff. But it's really hard because that person that you looked up to can destroy your dreams. So always keep out for a second chance. Johnny was a dude who had nothing in the beginning of the series and just started a dojo that he lost a couple of times, went ping pong, Cobra Kai went everywhere. But at the end of the season, Cobra Kai went where it belonged. back into Johnny's hands, back where it started. And this time, he wanted to do Cobra Kai the right way. So that's the good thing. He got a second chance. He got friends with his rivalry. He even has a family, a new child, everything. He has 3 children at the end of the series that he will love and they'll look up to him. That's the kind of guy he is now, which is just wonderful. Danny realized to expand his horizons, that there's more than just one way to karate. There's more than one way to living life. And he realized Miyagi-Do was nice, but at the end of the day, there were some people who needed Cobra Kai in order to defend themselves from the bullies. They needed someone to teach them to have confidence, to be aggressive. But sometimes doing things the light way isn't always the only way. So there were a lot of lessons at the end of it, and they just let go of everything. Just let it go. Forget the past. Learn from it, but move on, become a better person. That is the main thing I got from Cobra Kai, and my goodness, I loved it, man. Like I said, the last 5 episodes were just perfect. I love them very much. But it doesn't end there, though. That's right. I remember when I was going to see the Sonic movie, Sonic 3, they advertised the next Karate Kid, which will have the characters from Cobra Kai in it. Some of them, anyways. Not all of them, some of them. Mainly, I know Danny's going to be in it. I'm not sure if Johnny's going to be in it. I think it's just going to be Danny. But anyways, this is a continuation from Cobra Kai, is Karate Kid Generations. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm definitely seeing that in the theaters, because how much goodness Cobra Kai was. It really respected the source material. It didn't try to change anything. It didn't try to be, for the modern audience. It was for modern audience, but it did in a way where it didn't respect the theme and the aura of the Karate Kid and everything. It was nice. And to my opinion, it is the best Netflix original series of all time. Way better than Stranger Things. And plus, it's finished. When are we going to get the next thing of Stranger Things, man? It's been years already, man. It's been years. So, Cobra Kai is definitely a must-watch. I hope you guys give it a try. It goes by very fast. It's good, a lot of action, some drama and stuff like that. And if you're a big fan of Karate Kid, you'll definitely enjoy this. So that being said, I'll end it here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and of course, hit that bell icon. This has Madcrownxox. I'm Anime. Signing out.